Hey guys, welcome back to the channel.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us for another conversation today. We're going to talk about if women take accountability in their relationships.
So today I'm drinking water.
Today, you've been drinking water like the best.
I have. But glad whatever you're drinking and cheers with us while we get into it. Cheers.
You're listening to Tash and Nix.
All right, Nicole, so you sent me like a clip from the Krew season podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play some of that.
That admitted to ruining her past relationships. It's always the man's fault every time. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he could be doing everything right. She could cheat on him. She could sleep with his best friend, whatever. It's something he did to make that happen. You feel what I'm saying? So do women take accountability? Hell no, they don't. Never.
Women always take accountability in relationships, past or present, and we take what we did, we learn from it, grow, and apply to our next relationship. Now, whether men choose to accept that is on them, but women always take accountability.
Hell no. Women do not take accountability for failed relationships. Why?
There's nothing to account for.
Because men do not complain like women. Men do not nag. If you do the basics, just the
Men
the
don't
bare
nag.
minimum,
I'll just leave, right? Because you can't deal with anything.
we get on these hoes. That's what we do. When shit not going our way, we've expressed ourselves.
Because you can't deal with anything. You didn't express anything.
We've expressed ourselves.
What did you express?
So see, this is the thing. Men don't, like I said, men don't complain. Whenever we complain, that's when it's bothering us. When you doing
Finally, after 3 months,
yeah,
you done got on my nerves.
yeah.
I know women go through stuff. They take their time. They spend their time alone with their girlfriends. They drink their wine. They talk, and then they know what to do when they pursue the next man, or the next man comes along and pursues them. I feel like men, when they get out of a relationship, y'all's way of healing is just, jumping around and having sex with the next person until one of those ladies tie y'all down.
You're wrong. Our way of healing is hitting your friend that wanted us. That's the one. You know what I'm saying? Secondly, you know what I'm saying? Women never take accountability.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They'll cheat. They'll been there for your best friend cousin or some shit. You know what I'm saying? You shaking this man's hand every day. And then
You said women, not hoes.
No. Women hoes all the same.
Now, women don't ever put nothing on themselves. That's the problem.
Oh.
See, a man will put the shit on himself. He even tell his boys, hey, this is what I did wrong. And if a woman will catch that man in a lie or cheating, he gonna accept to it. He ain't gonna tell you that he cheated. But when you tell him he cheated and she counted, he gonna say, okay, yes, I did that. I'm sorry. He ain't gonna cheat again until tomorrow. And the next thing you know.
I have never had to take accountability because it was never my fault. I don't feel like I really did anything. Maybe I have done things in the past, but ultimately, things happen. You work it out in a relationship. Men hold it against you. They hold it over your head.
The second you do wrong, the second you don't text right, the second you don't communicate, she down your throat. She don't want to text you for a week. You mad? You in the doghouse? You ain't getting You ain't getting that pussy for a minute.
You're not talking about women.
Talking about your girl.
If
she
she
get
like
mad
you,
over dumb shit.
okay.
So at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Men rarely take accountability for what they do. They'll just leave, or they, blame the woman. They always blame the woman, actually. Oh, she crazy, she this, she that. But in all honesty, is she really crazy? No,
Yes.
It was probably you.
Okay.
Which means men don't take accountability for the part they play, but rather blame the woman.
Men, a lot of times, be in untenable situations, right? Because we'll ask her what's wrong, and she'll say nothing. And she'll say nothing. And she'll say nothing. Then when we leave her home, she wait on everything to build up and explode to communicate with us. Which should have been communicated from the door, and we could have got that out the way. Problem solved right then. But a lot of women have problems communicating. They don't have a problem running their mouth about everything else. But when it comes to communicating their feelings, you see a totally different woman.
When I catch you cheating, me personally.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there for a second. I feel like I was being attacked on that last part.
I know, that was funny. Facts, though. Yeah, so if you guys didn't realize it by now, we're definitely talking about accountability. I I wonder if those people were couples. I kind of was like, the way they were speaking about like men being hoes or effing someone's best friend. I'm like, yo, what? But I guess for you, my first question is, did you agree with any of the points that they made?
I definitely agree with the point that he made about like they'll ask us what's wrong and we'll say nothing and nothing. And like I've definitely been the type of person before. I just give kind of like passive aggressive energy and feel like you should know that something's wrong even though I said nothing, and that's like not the right way to go about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. I used to definitely hold things in a lot and would not say anything, and that's a form of being passive aggressive. And then eventually it would build itself up until I am now like angry, and the point that I'm making is probably not going to get to you because now it's out the window because you're responding to how emotional I am versus listening to what the issue was. So yeah, I definitely agree with that one as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I was wondering about the fact that there's that one girl, she was like, I was, I didn't do anything wrong, and
Yeah.
in my opinion, I feel like a lot of times women do that, and it doesn't have to be just a relationship situation. Sometimes talking or dating someone without it getting serious doesn't work out because you had some fault in it. And sometimes people don't realize it, but the truth is that we should also like reflect and take some sort of accountability. You can't, like, even in my marriage with my ex, what happened between us, but I still had to look back and think where did I go wrong in that marriage as well? And I was very passive aggressive in that marriage, like extremely. And I realized that is just not an effective way to communicate.
Yeah. No, I get that point. That's definitely true. She had said, yeah, like nothing's wrong with me. I feel like a lot of women do that and they don't take time to like reflect. I feel like although they may not sleep with somebody else to get over stuff like men tend to do when they get out of a relationship, they will go on dates or try to occupy their time instead of just kind of like sitting still with that for a second and really reflecting, okay, he did this wrong, but what could I have done better for my next relationship or the next time I'm talking to somebody? We don't do like a lot of reflection at all, like on ourselves. We're just focused on kind of like what that person did wrong. And then it's like other people can see it. Like, I feel like I've told you things before and I've told you like the whole story where like I'm talking about him, but you probably noticed like, okay, but you did this wrong. And you've like told me stories where I'm like, yeah, but you just say you did this. So it's like, sometimes you need to vent to maybe a friend or something. And then if they're a real friend, they'll tell you like, well, you could have done better.
You should have spoken like that. You know what I mean? One thing I know guys do not like is you to speak to them like they're children, and more so the like passive aggression, I guess, isn't only just withholding things. Sometimes it's going a roundabout way of not saying exactly what you mean. You know what I mean? Like, are those dishes going to wash themselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another way to be passive aggressive. You know what I mean? And it's probably irritating. And I'm sure who wants to deal with that. That's like being micromanaged. Like, who has time for that?
Yeah. No,
and then, like,
I feel that.
I don't understand what one of those guys were like, guys move on by sleeping with other people. I'm like, what does that have to do with the women taking accountability? But I do honestly feel like we do need to do a better job of taking accountability for our own actions. Like, not even in the dating world, like getting ourselves into stupid situations, like if we know, like you had mentioned this before, if somebody already has 3 baby moms and you become a 4th one and now you're upset, why didn't you you cannot only be mad at that person, you have to take some accountability.
Or even if
the gentleman told you,
right,
go ahead.
Even if they don't have like 3 baby moms, you're like dating a scammer and this person does illegal shit and then you get pregnant by them and you're like shocked that they don't become like the best dad ever overnight because they're obviously still going to continue that lifestyle whether you have their kid or not. Like, people just do shit like that. I guess I should say women in general can do some shit like that, and then they don't take accountability for that.
Yeah. And I feel like I think sometimes we do have to be honest with our friends, but sometimes our friends don't want to listen to the truth, But it doesn't mean you shouldn't be honest with them. I mean, because sometimes people can't handle the truth and they need to hear it because not enough people are telling them. But we have to at least at one point, if you are a person who I would consider maybe not ignorant or someone who's always learning, because you should always have some sort of like quest for knowledge, meaning that you should always want to learn other things, but you should also learn about yourself. So if you're not a person that's consistently taking accountability, really reflecting on the things that you've done that are wrong or need some correction in behavior, you're going to continue the same cycle. You know what I mean? You're going to continue on and wonder, like, why me? And then at one point you got to sit down and be like, well, why not me? I really do have to look at myself and see what is it that I'm doing to contribute to the problem.
Yeah. And it's hard to be real with like some friends as far as like keeping your friends, like making sure they keep themselves accountable or holding your friends accountable. Because you have some friends where you can be real with like that, right? Like me and you, we can tell each other something. You can give me constructive criticism and I'll take it and I'll try to move forward with that. But some friends, you're going to do the same shit anyways. So it's like you feel like you're giving a whole Martin Luther King speech just for her to go do the same shit she was already going to do.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's like people just can't be helped.
I think at one point you have to just not be nice about it. You can't be like, oh, well, if you just like, hey, you know what, this is stupid. And I think that's one thing that I used to get a lot of feedback on. Like, Nicole, you are a little too direct. I'm mean or whatever. But it was just like, in my opinion, especially if it's my family, I would rather tell you than let someone else tell you, because this is stupid. Why are you going back to this person who's treating you like trash, who had a child with someone else while they claim to love you? It is dumb, and I'm not going to tell you otherwise. And you might be mad at me, you might not talk to me, but at least I told you. I don't know. Like, yeah, I just can't.
Let's watch a little bit more of the clip, and then we'll talk about it again.
Okay.
It ain't no recovering from that. For these other scrub ass niggas, they gonna try to stay with you.
I don't feel like cheating is just the only way that people mess up, though.
That's the only thing that make y'all leave.
That's not the only thing that makes people leave.
Women get beat up all day and don't leave.
No, that's not the only thing.
There are a lot of their family with black eyes and putting makeup on and never leave. Man, that's the truth. It's fucked up, but it's the truth.
It's my fault. I'm supposed to take accountability for something that I didn't do.
So I got a question. So you're saying that you don't have no problems at all. Well, let me rephrase. You've never had any problems communicating with your man at all. Has it been something bothering you and you just sat on it and didn't say nothing ever?
See, that's the difference between me and maybe other women. I can't do that. I can't have things on my chest. If it's something that I feel like is serious to me or it's bothering me, even in the slightest, I'm going to speak on it. And sometimes I feel like maybe I shouldn't, because y'all don't appreciate that either.
Women be lying their ass off. They don't communicate. Communication is the problem. They wait till women wait. Women will tell you shit, then they'll back off. Then they'll tell you shit, then they'll back off. Next thing you know, she talking to Jerome down the street. You know what I'm saying? She been talking to niggas for 3 weeks,
really like
3 months. She been talking to niggas for 3 months already. That's why women move on so quick.
That we was like,
women move on quick because they already have one in the tuck. That's the problem. Saying they are to blame for relationships, so they always putting it off on the man.
In the tub.
We don't care about them hoes that's in the tub.
Yes, y'all do.
Them hoes
that's
that's in the
why
tub.
they over there.
The hoes that's in the tub, we
them.
just beating down. That's it.
I take accountability for everything I do.
Do you?
Straight up, I take accountability for everything, and I work on that situation. Now, after that situation, women like to bring that same situation up over and over and over and over again.
Probably because you didn't take accountability. Did you really take into account what you did?
Because y'all become insecure. And when y'all become insecure,
women are not insecure.
Y'all want to keep on bringing that same shit up over and over again until y'all get that same situation to happen again.
That's not a woman then.
That's all women.
No, it's not.
You know what? Y'all women don't do nothing.
So
but
now you're making a generalization.
complain.
So now you're making a generalization.
Exactly.
Women leave because they're tired of trying. They're tired of not getting what they're giving.
They
back.
tired of trying after he did hit
So if
20
somebody
women and she
hits
found
you,
19 of them.
no.
Of course you ready to leave. That nigga done got his roster all the way up on you.
If you know it's something wrong, maybe you should think about it. What did you do? What can I do to really find out what's the problem, the underlying issue? If you have a woman that's not willing to communicate with you. Like I said, I don't have those problems.
See, that's exactly my point, right? You just basically said it's my fault for not guessing what her problem is instead of putting responsibility on her shoulders to communicate it to me.
If a man get on these hoes, it's because of something that his woman didn't do.
If a man get on these
we
hoes,
are
it's because his
faithful.
ego is ruined.
We are faithful men. Understand me?
Huh?
We are faithful men, and the only reason why we step out is
You guys
because
are
of you.
social media.
No, it don't even matter
Definitely
social media. A man cannot have social media and
You
still
have
have
too many
hoes.
options.
Remember that.
That's what this whole thing is about. Man, you can't just take your personal experience. You gotta take.
But you just
everyone's
named the
experience.
personal experience. You said what okay, so which is it?
You're right.
Which is it?
You're right.
Okay, that's fine.
Women ain't shit. That's all. That's what I'm getting out of this. Y'all insecure about everything. If a man messed
Men
up
don't
one
take
time,
accountability.
if they
Blame women for everything that
if a
goes
man
wrong in
messed
their
up
life.
one
It was
time-
that girl. She crazy. She this. She that. She messed up my life. No, it was
I ain't never said that in my life.
When men are in relationships,
Yeah.
y'all force us to take accountability. Then y'all beat on us mentally, not physically. You know what I'm saying? Well, some physically because these bitch ass niggas weak. But anyway, mentally, you know what I'm saying? Y'all want to check our phones for 2-3 years straight, accuse us of shit. We going out with our partners. You want us in at 11 o'clock and we just left the house at 10:30. How the fuck is that going on? You know what I'm saying? Real talk. But let us catch you doing something awesome shit. It can be something simple. You
So
really
if
made
we're
us
busy
mad.
going through your phone and waiting for you to come back home in 30 minutes, when are we going to have time to go do something then?
30 minutes?
No.
It's 24 hours in a day. You talking 30 minutes? Damn. I see it now. I see it.
You should.
Women
You're
want
wrong.
25 hours of our time.
All they take is some heels
Y'all
and tell her she look good. She has a nice smile, and you get that ass. That's basically what she just told me.
Basically, what he just said is money is everything, and I can't take it. And if he gets you something, I'm sad. Shut up.
Money is not everything, first of all. Second of all, you got me.
What I'm
You
saying,
can't name
what I'm saying
personal
is,
experience, but you said again.
whenever I have a
Again, we're
situation
bringing up the personal.
that I messed,
but
whenever I
you
messed
just
up,
said don't. Which is it?
whenever I messed up in my life,
Is it Uchi Wally or is it one mic?
I'm gonna bring.
Which is it? I'm trying to understand.
We both.
Okay. Those last two were funny. They were legit arguing.
Well, first of all, yeah. Well, first of all, I hate how he's like, men cheat because it's women's fault. Like, no. Cheating is not gender specific. If you're just a trash person in general, it's not someone's fault that you cheat. Like, stop. That bothers me that he said that.
Yeah, I feel the majority of the time when somebody's cheating, they just wanted to cheat. Like,
can you still see me? All right. So let me ask you, Tashay, in terms of like your last like relationship or dating, situation, do you think there's anything that you did personally to contribute to the demise of your relationship?
yeah, so about like a year and a half ago, I was dating this guy. He wasn't doing very financially well at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that was kind of irrelevant to like a relationship because he was doing everything else right. So that really wasn't an issue.
Okay.
So he finally started getting opportunities where he could make more money, but it was taking like a lot more of his time.
Okay.
So initially, we were spending a lot of time together, like almost every day for like almost 2 months. And then suddenly got these opportunities. So we started only seeing each other like maybe once a week. Like it was very dwindled down. And so I think instead of being supportive, like I should have been in that moment and kind of like pushing him to reach those goals and like kind of cheering him on to do that. I was kind of like naggy because I missed like the way it used to be. So I definitely think that contributed to the demise of that relationship. Just that I was like really naggy. I wasn't supportive. And that just like started to weigh on him. He already had like financial problems, and then there I was doing that as well. So it just kind of ended it.
Yeah, that happens.
Mm-hmm.
We just sometimes tend to not think about our, like I said, other person and what they're going through. We're more so worried about or concerned about like how we feel. And a lot of times we have to remember that it's not always just about us. And sometimes that person isn't meaning to do it on purpose. It's just the circumstances at the time. It is what it is, you know? So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's good that you're able to reflect back on it and know, like, for in the future, if something like that were to arise again, you know, you could definitely handle it different. How would you have handled that differently?
I think all I would have done was I was so focused on like what I needed in that moment. I wasn't even thinking about like what does he need in this moment. And I should have been thinking about that. So I think in the future, if I ever came across that problem again, I'll be thinking of how, you know, I can help him instead of like me, I need this all the time.
That's good.
How about yourself?
It's important. I think the same, like for me, I dated when I was a lot younger. I didn't date too many people before I was married, but I do remember being very, very passive aggressive in situations. And I really had the blessing to have very patient boyfriends. A grown ass man would not deal with that today. But back then, I think I was just really like, I would get mad and I wouldn't, like my passive aggressiveness was like, it would come out in different forms. Like I would definitely wouldn't tell them how I felt, but I would also make sure to bring it up later. And, you know, like it was like a never ending story, you know, just
Yeah.
let it go, you know. Also not bringing up things if they were important to me. If I felt a certain type of way, I would wait until they were, you know, until it built up and didn't come out right. And instead of even talking about it, I would just shut down completely, like no communication whatsoever. And who wants to deal with that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not a good, effective way to communicate with anybody. Like, when it happens to you and you're like, dang, you know, then you realize, like, oh, well, this is what it felt like on the other side of me. Like, dang, you know? So, I definitely feel like, because I broke up with people I was with, you know, in the past, and I definitely realized like a lot of the things that they kind of dealt with from me was just not acceptable behavior, like, you know, on my part. And I really realized that, like, I wasn't very apologetic either. And I don't know if that's a Caribbean or West Indian thing. I don't know. Cause if people know Caribbean people or West Indian people, unfortunately, that's a trait that they have where they don't apologize for their behavior. And it's not, you know, keeping it real, or it's not just, it's who I am. At what point you shouldn't let someone else shouldn't have to pay for your bad mental behavior, mental issues, you know, or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You should definitely reel that in before making it be someone else's problem. It's not their problem to heal you.
Yeah.
You know.
Some people feel like their partner is supposed to be their therapist. And I think that's like the worst mindset you could ever have in your life. Like they can't be that for you. You have to be willing to like get that type of help on your own.
Facts. And it's very important to think that way. It's important to, especially at a certain age, because sometimes we aren't thinking about that, especially in our 20s. But it's important for you to think, okay, if you're a truly smart, intelligent human being, you should constantly be trying to grow and learn new things, and that includes about yourself. So there should never be a time where you're like, well, this is who I am, and that's what they get, and that's it. And it's like, but maybe who you are isn't that great. You know, like you have to really think about that. And I can say that I've had plenty of male like friends, or even people I've dated who have told me that women have never apologized to them for things. I'm like, people can't really think that they've never done anything wrong. Like that's insane. Like, yeah.
Have you ever had like a friend like venting to you about like stuff the person she's with is done all this stuff wrong, but like in the back of your mind, you're like, you do hella shit wrong too?
Hell yeah. I'm like, okay. I used to get really upset with like a person who would like, she would get mad at her man for like I guess flirting and stuff like that, but she would do the same thing. And I'm like, I don't understand. If you're doing the exact same thing, how can you expect anything different than what you're doing? Or just like I remember I had a girl who was just like, yeah, he he like he came home and did all these really nice things for her. Like he did this, they like cleaned, did the laundry, cooked, and did something else. And she's like, yeah, but like he didn't do this right. And I'm like, girl. And so from all of that, all you got was this one thing that you felt like he didn't do as well as you.
Mm-hmm.
He made an effort to do it. The first thing you should do is thank him.
Yeah.
Preferably on your knees. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Girl, what?
Usually when a woman is that nitpicky and just picking at a man about something, is something else they're really mad about.
Yeah.
Either you're like getting tired of them or getting bored with them. Maybe you think you can do better than them at this point. Something like that for you to be that nitpicky, because otherwise it would take a lot more than that to like make you upset. I remember I had a friend, she would get mad at her boyfriend just for like talking to women at the club, like not flirting with them, but just like having conversations with other human beings. Like it wasn't that deep. She would get like pissed to the point she would be like pouting in the middle of the club. In the back of my head, I'm like, I don't know why he's with this childish bitch. Like, someday I want to know if I can be her friend. She seriously was so childish. And it's like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, you go on dates with other guys. You give out your number. Like, you do real shit you actually be concerned about. And you're mad just because he's having a conversation with another woman.
Yeah.
Like,
she's wrong.
Just ridiculous stuff like that.
Yeah, she's wrong as hell. Like, let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
You can't have a standard for them, but not for yourself. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like if you're going forward in a situation or a relationship and your overall goal in the relationship is to make it out of maybe from a relationship to an engagement, from an engagement to a marriage, like you should maneuver in that in a way where it's not foul. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing good is going to come out of it. So I just feel like that's stupid. Like,
yeah. Some women are so toxic, they like the drama. So even if there's not anything going on, they're going to pick a fight or something with you just to have drama going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just toxic or something else is going on with them. They like the relationships where you gotta run down his car and you're not trying to let him leave the apartment. You're trying to block. Like they're those type of people.
Never in my life.
I wish I would run up somebody's car out here.
Nah. I knew a girl who tried to run over the guy she was with. Well, I don't know her. I knew the guy. He told me the story. And he still was with her. And I'm like, and he would complain about her down the road. I'm like, you chose her. Like you knew when she tried to run you over with the car that something was wrong with her. Like, I don't feel bad for you. There's
those type of couples like damn near like killing the other one every other week, and somehow they just manage to stay together. Like they just like that toxic shit.
Just like their grandparents. No thanks. Just like me, Ma. Like, no fucking thanks. Like, I am not interested in toxicity or that level of like crazy in a relationship. Like that does not intrigue me. It makes me scared. Like, yeah, no. But I'm also big on accountability for my partner as well. You know, one thing when they were talking about, that one of the girls says, well, I always talk. I always say how I feel. And that is something that I do currently. I always say how I feel. But I don't say it in a rude way. I don't hold on to it and wait till later. If I'm like very, very upset about it, I will let them know like, hey, I do want to talk to you about something, but give me a little bit because I don't want to be angry. I don't want to say anything that I can't take back. So they understand that, you know, but I definitely try to be very open about how I feel and open feedback from that person as well. And actually, when they said that thing about guys not telling girls about themselves, I agree with that. Yeah. I really do. A lot of times guys will just ghost you or they'll just keep it moving because they think that women don't want to hear it. So I think guys need to be held accountable in that aspect too. Why don't you say how you feel?
Yeah, like I can't try to fix shit if like you ain't gonna tell me how you feel, and if I blow up on you and I don't want to like hear it, then move on. But I mean, you gotta give somebody a chance to at least like fix the problem or fix the issue. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
I think
I feel like that's important.
some women's problem as well is, and I've been so guilty of it, you'll think that you're like telling him like what you need and like what you're upset with, like in your mind, but really it's just you. Like, I vented to you, I vented to another friend, and like I'm so exhausted from doing that. I could have swore I told him too, but I really didn't.
Yeah.
I would just like mad about it all day and like thought he would figure it out. So I feel like we make that mistake as well. Like, we say what we're mad about in a roundabout way, and kind of
Mhm.
want them to just kind of get to our conclusion on their own. And men are
Yeah.
very direct. So when you're talking to a man, you need to be direct. Like, I need this. You can't just,
Hmm.
I'm happy. Like, I wish you would do things more often to make me happy. Like, hey, I want to go out on a date maybe once a week. I would like if
Okay.
sometimes you got me flowers, or you just told me good morning again, because you stopped doing that. Like, be direct. Like, I need this, this, and this from you, not just like, oh, it's just not the way it used to be, because they can't really do nothing with that. Like,
That's really good advice, Tache.
yeah. I got that on
That's
the
really good.
not original.
It's a remix, but okay.
But when I heard it, I was like, damn, that makes so much sense. Like,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
right about that. I just thought about that in my own relationship, and I'm like, you're right. Men are very direct, so that you're right. I'm gonna actually use that
Yeah.
going forward. That's a good
Like, we
idea.
tend to speak in like feelings. And like, I get that. Like, if you were speaking to me in feelings, I'd probably know, oh, yeah, this is what she's like wanting or something. Or
Yeah.
But he's just like, okay. And then he just goes back.
Yeah, and it keeps it going, keeps
You
it
don't know what
moving.
I'm talking about.
That's so true. That's literal facts. You're right. So that's a good idea. If you're watching or hearing that point, the remix from Tache, definitely use that advice. I'm gonna make a mental note to use that going forward. I think it's a great idea
Yeah.
because I've remember being asked directly, Nicole, do you want this? And I'm like, I do want it. And I'm like, just say that. And yes, I do. And they're like, okay. And that's what they give you. So you're right. They are very direct people. So
Yeah.
that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that. Like, but you'd be surprised, like, because like you're saying that and you heard it from somewhere else, I never really heard that. So to me now, I'm like, oh, okay, let me, digest that information and use it for the future.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
When I heard that, it really resonated with me, because I'm like, damn, I'm not direct when I'm talking to men. I talk to men how I would talk to you.
Yeah.
It does not work.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Okay.
For sure. Well, that was a good conversation. Did we have them, Nicole?
No, sorry about the glitches, guys. You'll probably see a couple of robot Nicoles. I'm not sure, but I left my both laptops with my boyfriend, and he's at work, and he has them in his backpack. So I'm on a phone right now. So I had to change to my daughter's phone because hers is newer than mine. So as y'all know, Tache says I have a pager. So
as we can sell now you know my complaint.
But yeah, let us know what you guys thought of today. Comment in this and let us know, hey, do you guys accept accountability in your relationships? If you're a female, men, do you let women know directly what the problem is with them? Share your ideas with us.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.